Alright, what is going on, guys? Spiteful is back again, coming at you with a video brought to you by, well, me. But now for those that don't know, it's actually my anniversary today. So this video might be a bit shorter just because I do want to get through this relatively quickly and then get back to my girl. What up, Sharky? They can't see you. Oh, you want me to show the camera to you? No?
No.
No. She don't want to be on camera. She's naked, so. Okay. Alright, yeah, alright, so let's just get right into it. Honorable mentions, we're gonna have to put Toshiro in there. Honestly, he's a bonus in quite a few epic raids, which is actually really good. He does have a second strong attack that deals massive damage. I would actually even call it a nuke. It does have 160 magnification, and then on top of that, it does hit 48 times. So not only does it hit multiple times, but the fact that the magnification is higher than most attacks, and then the hits, if you're right up on the enemy, you're dealing massive damage. For those that don't know about the second strong attack, you might have seen it with Shunsui, but when you use him in co-op content where enemies have poise or the like, this actually deals significantly strong. It deals a significant amount of damage. You can't really make effective use of this in single player content because it is range collision, so you'll actually push back enemies. But overall, just like with if the enemy has poise, they're taking a lot of damage. I'm not gonna say they're dead because it's really hard to one shot unless you have them max transcended. But like with this list, I want to do 1 of 5 max SP or max attack depending on the type of character they are, right? So third strong attack is what holds him back in my opinion. 900 radius third strong attack. First strong attack is a standard lunge. Overall, just a very good character, and since he is a star 14 link, at worst he's definitely worth leveling up the SP, if only to use him as a link. He does have a debilitator of 5 seconds with freeze/paralysis on his attacks. Frenzy, devastation 40%, kind of standard. Next on the list, we're gonna have to give it to Baragon. Baragon has survived so long. He actually came out a week after. He came out like 2 to 3 weeks after second anniversary Ichigo, if it gives you any indication of how old this character is. And at 1 of 5, he still performs very well. 729 spiritual pressure. He still has a beyond full screen third strong attack that takes place in front of him. His second strong attack is the 2500 length beam, back before it was even a first strong attack. First strong attack is a standard lunge, and he has weakening on all of his attacks. The weaken on his ultimate is probably the reason that he actually has survived this long. Being able to nuke a guild quest is absolutely massive, and if you have this character 5/5, he is worth max transcending, if only to absolutely wreck guild quests. Since he is a melee Soul Reaper killer, if you don't have tag team Izudu or something like that with weakening on the ultimate, this is a very good alternative. Debilitator plus 5 seconds, Frenzy, long reach 20%, devastation 40%. Just a very good value character. I definitely suggest working on him if you actually like how he plays. I wouldn't really advise anyone work on him if you don't like playing with the character to begin with, right? Alright, so 11th on the list, honestly I'm going to have to give it to Nytora. I don't want to put him in honorable mentions because I feel like he deserves better than that. But going into the character himself, the main thing that really attracts this character is the fact that he's a damage reduction link. He has Flurry, Poise, and Sprinter plus 1, and Star Barrier plus 10, which is pretty good for PvP. He does have to contend with Ichibe and Hoshwaltz now, but like, I feel like the Star Barrier still helps him quite a bit when not facing those units head on. He has a debilitator of 5 seconds with paralysis on all of his attacks except for his boost. Now his boost doesn't have Enhancer, which is kind of unfortunate, but it does have a transformation mechanic which increases his normal attack damage by 10%, not including the boost. The boost itself will buff his focus, defense, and attack, which is kinda nutty for 10 seconds. He has a beam first strong attack for 2500 radius, kind of miffy. I personally would have preferred a lunge for a melee NAD based character. He has a standard full screen third strong attack, but his transformation mechanic lasts for 30 seconds, which is really strong. This character is a bonus in several epic raids, and just like Oetsu Tokinata, he has his own day in court. You know what I'm saying? Like whenever it's Nytora bonus day, bro, you want Nytoras in that lobby. Being able to take down the boss in under a minute is pretty clutch. Personally, whenever it's Nytora day, I didn't have Nytora up until today. Yes. So fortunately I have Cloud, so people would let me in. Feels bad, bro. But yeah, going into it, next on the list we're gonna have to give it to Isane. Isane, in my opinion, is a very vanilla character. The character itself, Soul Reaper with an Arankar killer. She does have Debilitator 5 seconds. She has Frenzy, she has a Berserker 20%, no Havoc, but she does have a Recover 20% stamina between waves, Devastation 40% for her ultimate, and a Sprinter +1. She has a Barrier, along with being able to heal herself in between waves means that you could run her with full stamina damage boost if you actually want to. I personally wouldn't recommend it just because I feel like if you're running a Barrier unit, you kind of want to make effective use of that, so running SAR is going to be the way to go. She has a Beam for strong attack with 2500 length, and then third strong attack is a standard full screen. Kind of vanilla, to be honest, like I'll be real with you, but just the fact that just because she's vanilla doesn't mean she's not good, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's very what's the word I'm looking for, safe, I suppose. Alright, next on the list, and I personally would put her a little bit down. Honestly, I feel like I would have put her under honorable mentions, but like I said, I make these what's the word I'm looking for? I make these lists with you guys over on Twitch/YouTube, depending on whatever lets me actually record. But going into the list, Rangiku is actually pretty beefy. Almost 800 spiritual pressure with no affiliation killer, in my opinion, is what holds her back. Going into the character itself, you'll see here that she has a 3000 length beam, a standard full screen third strong attack with 1200 radius, and then her second strong attack is the same with characters like Tokinata, Sennosuke, Uryu, Magoto, Kisuke, Loli. So like the character itself is just like she's just very, very good on paper, but like her only real issue is that no affiliation killer, which holds her back, and she's only really useful in Path of Valor / Senkaimon. She does have a Debilitator 5 seconds with weakening on all of her attacks. Should no affiliation get its own day in Guild Quest, honestly, this character will perform very, very, very well. She does have Havoc 20%, Berserker 20%, Debilitator, Devastation 40%, weaken on all of her attacks. She's going to be very, very good for that, but until Caleb actually puts that out, honestly, she's going to be pretty much just sitting on the sideline. Alright, next on the list, I'm going to have to give it to Saloporo. Saloporo brings some much needed utility as well as some bonuses in epic raids. The character himself does have a Havoc 20%, Frenzy, Debilitator +2 seconds, Poison immunity, Sprinter +1, and then obviously has Frenzy, Bruiser 20%, kind of a throwaway ability. However, he does have a 3000 length beam for a strong attack, beyond full screen third strong attack that was a 900 radius third, but with Havoc 20% being able to go up over 1000, I think is very, very, very good. Now his second strong attack is a 510 radius crawling vortex with Havoc 20%. I feel like that actually makes it viable. I think it's very, very strong because you can actually group up a ton of enemies and you don't have to worry about missing that one enemy off the sideline just because you know that it'll grab everything in front of you. He does have poison on everything as well as a revive mechanic on his special move, which could be helpful in epic raids, especially for those that are struggling to learn mechanics or get into epic raids to begin with. I think that the revive mechanic is actually a very good feature. Alright, next on the list, I'm going to have to give it to Kisuke. The fact that he actually saves... I'm going to take this off because this is actually making me sweat. The fact that Kisuke actually has the inheritance zone... Excuse me, here we go. The inheritance zone's only heart link slot potions +5, I think is enough to just get him on the list to begin with, just with the amount of time you'll save when it comes to farming. He has a normal attack damage link of 20%, along with Flurry, a Bruiser 40%, so effectively plus 60% normal attack damage. He has Guard Break, a Sprinter +1, Devastation 40%, and Berserker 50% if you want to build him hybrid. The fact that he has Guard Break is really good. He has a barrier instead of a boost. A lot of people were trying to call him the Mind Tokinata. I don't think that he fits that criteria per se. They're very similar, sure. Even the second strong attack is like pretty much the same, just not a boost. But like the fact that he doesn't have a transformation mechanic, he's not infinitely with barriers. His first and third strong attack are okay. Like his first strong attack is the pushback attack, but since you have guard break, doesn't really matter. Standard full screen third strong attack. I personally only use the third strong attack when I'm starting to get covered in mobs. Since he is a ranged attacker, you kind of want to be in, like, you want the enemies in front of you, not around you, right? And then his second strong attack is the same attack as Tokinata, Sennosuke, Yumichika, Uryu, cough cough, just kidding. That was kind of mean. Uryu don't deserve that. But I mean, he's just overall a good character. Like, my issue with him is he doesn't really perform that well unless you have his attack at level 10. But like, honestly, once you get his attack at level 10, excuse me, no, not attack level 10, he doesn't really perform that well if you don't have a gold chappie, and I feel like that holds him back quite a bit. Like, let's be real here, gold chappies and gold accessories just in general aren't really accessible yet, which is kind of unfortunate considering, like, how old they are, right? Like there's been several times where I'll literally just pull a crap ton of let me close this. There's a lot of times when I'll just like literally pick up a crap ton of like gold Yukis or gold Pupples and stuff like that for all the orbs that I spent on soul tickets. Alright, so next on the list, I'm gonna go with Toshiro. Toshiro is really, really strong. I feel like he doesn't get as much respect as he deserves just because of like let's be real here, Candice is a thing. So he is an Arankar killer for Mind, which I feel like Candice kind of overshadows him significantly. He does have Poise, Long Reach plus 20%, and Bruiser plus 20%, which it's okay. Like being able to reach the enemy without having to put yourself in too much danger is really good. Debilitator plus 5 seconds, Devastation 40%, freeze on all of his attacks except for his second, which is weakened. He does have the Poise, Frenzy. Yeah, I mean, he's a really interesting character. His lunge first strong attack, a lunge second strong attack that could cause weaken. His third strong attack is the 975 AoE in front of you, which I personally like. Full screen, standard special move. He's overall just a good character. I feel like his issue is just that Candice just overshadows the hell out of him. Something like Sprinter plus 2 is just so strong. And yeah, going next on the list, we're gonna have to give it to Machine Society Retsu. Society Retsu is actually really good. Her first strong attack is the split 3 ways first strong attack, 180 magnification, assuming that you hit all 3 of them, so you do have to get right up on the enemy. But whenever she's bonusing epic raids, that first strong attack is incredibly strong. Like being able to just get up in front of the enemy, just use your split 3 ways, you deal a lot of damage that way. Her second strong attack is the 960 AoE in front of you, and then a standard 1200 radius third strong attack because of her Havoc 20%. Now she does have a Berserker 20%, Havoc 20%, Frenzy, and the fact that she has Guard Break means that her first strong attack isn't complete garbage. Usually the split 3 ways first strong attack is absolute trash. However, when a character has Guard Break, it actually becomes a pretty good strong attack. I don't want to say it's a very good strong attack, it's a pretty damn good strong attack. Debilitator plus 5 seconds, Devastation 40%. Overall, just a very good value character, and I do think that she deserves her place on this list. Alright, next on the list, I'm going to have to give it to Hikone. Now, a lot of people are probably flipping out, like, why is Hikone down here? The fact that Hikone is up here is not a bad thing, alright? Like, I do find him a bit interchangeable with Koga. Personally, I think that Hikone is a bit stronger than Koga just because of the weaken mechanic when it comes to something like Guild Quest. But the fact that, like, Hikone just holds up on his own, like, Hikone is just a beast, right? Personally, I feel like Koga and Hikone are kind of interchangeable. My only issue is... No, I actually don't have an issue. I personally would have put Hikone up top. But, like, hey, I let people vote for this, alright? So, going into it, Hikone does have a standard full screen third strong attack, a lunge first strong attack, and then an 800 radius AoE in front. Now, he doesn't have Havoc 20% or Berserker, which is quite unfortunate because he came out during a time when they weren't doing that. But he has a standard Nat string, which I personally don't particularly like because it's really slow. But he has weaken on all of his attacks. He has Devastation 40% with Weaken on his ultimate, Debilitator plus 5 seconds, Frenzy. He does have Sprinter plus 2 and Long Stride, which makes him one of the fastest units in the game. With a level 10 SP, this character just cleaves and just goes to town. Something along the lines of Extreme Co-op or Inheritance Zone might slow him down just a little bit because he does need... let's be real, when you're doing Inheritance Zone, you're going to be depending on the Kisukes that are running with you because you want to be able to farm effectively. Personally, I think Hikone makes a very good carrier. So next on the list, I'm going to have to give it to Koga, right? So Koga is a Hollow Killer with range, right? He is a range Hollow Killer, which is really good for Guild Quest. Strong attack recharge minus 14%, so at worst, he's going to be a star 14 link later down the line. He does have a Debilitator of 5 seconds with paralysis/freeze on his attacks except for his Nat and first. Frenzy, Havoc 20%, he has crazy range. First strong attack, 3000 length beam. Second strong attack, 960 AoE in front. And then his 975 third strong attack gets turned into a massive 1170 AoE in front of him. This character, this character's so good. Honestly, I personally love Koga. The fact that he's also a premium unit honestly makes him really a good highlighter because it's very likely that you'll pull dupes of him without even trying to summon for him, which I think is very good as well. So overall, I do think that Koga and Hikone are kind of interchangeable. You'll use them for different things to begin with. One's melee, one's range, one's a Hollow Killer, one's a Soul Reaper Killer, one's weaken, one's freeze. right? But overall, I do find Koga being more bonus in epic raids, and you'll probably end up using both when it comes to something along the lines of guild quests. The fact that they're non-attribute specific when it comes down to it, right? Because it's like heart and mind beat each other, but they don't have attack disadvantage. I think that's very, very strong. All right, next on the list, I'm gonna have to give it to Ichigo. Now, Ichigo, in my opinion, is significantly better than obviously number one, who's gonna be Candice, when it comes to guild quests or stuff that you need to burst down incredibly fast. But when you're doing stuff like Inheritance Zone or when you're doing stuff like Inheritance Zone where you're not hosting, or when you're doing stuff like single player, I do feel like Candice is going to just clear a bit quicker just because of her Sprinter +2. Going into the character himself, he's an absolute monster with Soul Reaper Killer, Strong Attack Recharge -12%. He does have a Berserker of 40%. Decreased Soul Reaper damage taken -20%, which is kind of a throwaway ability in my opinion. Devastation 60%, Frenzy, hit hidden enemy chance 100%, Paralysis immunity, Sprinter +1. The fact that he doesn't need a Zeta Ball to hit the enemies that go underground, considering that he does have a Soul Reaper Killer, which means that you will be using him against enemies that sometimes go underground, is really, really good. He has a Bruiser of 40%, so his NAD is not complete garbage. He has a first strong attack lunge, second strong attack is the 2500 beam, and then his third strong attack is a 975 AoE in front. Being able to transform and reset your cooldowns is stupid strong. Honestly, I personally think that Ichigo and Candice are pretty interchangeable depending on the type of content you're trying to run, right? His special move transforms him for 30 seconds, which he gets higher magnifications. So he gets a 25% increase in damage, and if you use a character with a boost along with him, he'll do... He's just pretty bonkers, not gonna lie. Like, the fact that you can reset his cooldowns, honestly, when he's a bonus in epic raids, makes him a beast. When you're running him in Inheritance Zone, he's a beast. He's just a beast all around, like, even in guild quests. So honestly, like, this character, he's so good. I wish I pulled him. Alright, next on the list, I'm gonna have to give it to Candice. The fact that she has Sprinter +2 honestly makes her one of the fastest units in the game. She has an Arankar Killer, Strong Attack Recharge -12%. She has the Berserker 20%, Havoc 20%, Paralysis on all of her attacks, Debilitator +5 seconds to go along with that, Devastation 40%, Havoc 20%, so she has crazy range, and then Weakened Defense on her ultimate, which means that the enemy will also die significantly quicker, is incredibly strong. I personally use her as my main runner when it comes to Arankar Killer week. First strong attack is a standard lunge, second strong attack is the 960 AoE, the 800 AoE in front of you, but with Havoc 20%, it just gets inflated to 960, and then third strong attack is a 1200 radius third strong attack, which the fact that she has Sprinter +2 means that you can get in the middle of the enemy safely, you can dodge specials a lot safer, and then her ultimate is a standard ultimate with Weakened Defense and Paralysis, and then Debilitator +5 seconds. She's an absolute monster. I personally love Candice. She's probably one of my favorite units to play, along with Tokinata and along with who's my other favorite character to play? Along with probably Fullgetsu. Like, something about Sprinter +2, like with Kirinji as well. Like, Sprinter +2 just makes the character just run a whole lot smoother, and I think that says something. Either way, like I said, a lot of these characters are pretty interchangeable. These top four are very, very, very strong units. I do think that Hikone and Koga are pretty interchangeable, and I do think that Ichigo and Candice themselves are pretty interchangeable. I gotta wait to see what we're gonna be getting, because it's very possible that Shuhei might be mined. It's very possible that Shuhei might be... I don't know if he'll be mined or if he'll be heart, but if we get Aura, I do feel like Aura has a very high potential of being a mined unit, so this list might vary depending on what we get for end of the month. But I'm gonna leave it at that. Let me know what you guys think of the list. Do you hate it? Do you love it? Do you like it? Do you care about it? If not, well, I mean, I guess I'll read the comments sometime. I personally still do read all my comments. I might not comment back all the time just because I do still get a massive amount. But I guess I will leave it at that. You know, guys, grind. I'll catch up with you. Stay blessed. Like, comment, subscribe. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and see y'all in the next one. Peace.